Well, over the last 48 to 72 hours, everyone seems to be talking about this really amazing model from Kimi.com called K2. And today we're going to talk more about what's possible with this model and also show a few use cases of things I've generated with the model. This model is pretty amazing. It's a mixture of experts model with 1 trillion total parameters. So yeah, let's jump in. My name is Dwayne Samuels. I'm a founder in the AI space. Yeah, let's talk more about K2. So as we can see here, K2 is, as I was saying earlier, a mixture of experts model with 32 billion activated parameters and 1 trillion total parameters. It's a huge model. And it achieves a state-of-the-art performance in frontier knowledge, math, and coding among non-thinking models. One key thing that you're supposed to know about this model as well, it doesn't have a reasoning mode as yet, and it is already showing these numbers in the evaluation. So let's jump into like these the evals right here. So we can see single attempts, so one shots pretty much have are rated at 65.8. And also multi attempts are 71.6 for the K2 model. And we can see DeepSeek down here at 38.8. Qwen 3 is down here at 34.4. We have GPT-4.1 from OpenAI at 54.6. And we have Claude Opus 4 or 4 Opus at 72.5. And for a single attempt, and for multi attempt, it's 79.4. So these are obviously, as you can see here on the SWE-bench Verified graph. We also have like the SWE-bench multilingual, where it scores 47 compared to Claude 4 Sonnet at 51. 4 Sonnet is a really good model, and to see K2 actually get 47 on the SWE-bench multilingual is kind of impressive, right? On LiveCodeBench V6, Kimi is scoring at 53.7, and it's like standing far above the other models. DeepSeek is here at 46, Qwen is here at 37, OpenAI GPT-4.1 is here at 44, and the list goes on, right? And for the OJ bench, we can see that it's still, it seems to be the best model on this graph. It's funny, I'm not really sure. Probably in the comments you can tell me exactly why GPT-4.1 was used. They should have used, I think they should have used a better model for this. 4.1 is a good model, but I think probably 03 would be a better model compared to this, because like I think comparably, you would be comparing Claude 4 Opus with 03 from OpenAI. We also have Gemini 2.5 Flash here in Unthinking. We should be using not Flash, but pretty much Pro for this eval. So we'll see exactly. And down here for tool use, because it's an agentic model, we can see that pretty much it's just below Claude 4 Opus, right? It's coming in at 66.1. And for the ACE bench, we can see here that 4.1, GPT-4.1 is at 80, and this comes in second place at 76.5. For math and STEM, it pretty much is the best model on the list. We have DeepSeek V3 here, we have Qwen 3, and we can see it there. And also looking here, it's also a bit better than, I'm thinking, Opus 4, correct? Opus 4 for GPQA Diamond. So yes, this is a pretty good model, and the evals are very surprising. So today we'll see exactly how well this model performs, and how it conducts like these tasks, right? So in these use cases here, they have like a salary data analysis example here. The prompt is using this data, pretty much come up with these things, right? And we can see exactly how it goes around to perform the tasks. and then we click result, we can see the beautiful design that is generated from here. You know, like this is next level, right? We have the descriptive statistics and everything like there, and yes, this is pretty fantastic. And this is for example 1. So for example 2, the task was to create an interactive visualization website for Stanford NLP Lab, academic genealogy. Please complete the following, yada, yada, yada. We can see right here. Let's look at the result. Right, so pretty much it's created a website. If we click analytics, what happens? Oh, awesome. So it goes down to a graph. Pretty straightforward. Ah, nice, a graph network or nodes. Interesting. Right, we can also like play with the year range. Oh, interesting. Then we go all the way here as nodes. Pretty cool, really cool. And down here we have some more examples, right? So we can go through and like see exactly how this works. So we have a Minecraft example here. So I can use my ASDW buttons to navigate through this experience. It looks just like Minecraft. I'm guessing space makes you jump, correct? Yeah, I'm jumping here. Oh, that's a high jump. Awesome. Let me hit escape. Let's go over here. What is this? Gotcha. Analysis. Oh, that's some pretty serious stuff. Interesting. Gotcha. All right. I'm impressed. Let's look at the result here. Gotcha. All right. And we have the rest of the numbers here. So if you're interested, you can go to moonshotai.github.io/Kimi K2, right? It's right there. So pretty much you guys can look at this paper and like pay attention to that. Now let's jump over to all the examples that I tried K2 with. So first, the first prompt I ran was build a real-time 3D solar system with accurate planetary objects, asteroid belts, and comet trajectories. Include clickable planets that reveal live data about atmospheric conditions, surface temperatures, and recent space missions. Add realistic lighting effects showing day and night cycles and seasonal changes. So this is a very dense prompt, right? So pretty much I wanted to see exactly how far you could actually get with this, and it didn't really get quote unquote that far. I thought it would have actually rendered all of this or tried to render this in browser, but what it did, it pretty much used the Core 3D engine. It asked me to choose a Core 3D engine, which pretty much I would be taking the file from and rendering it in. Here we can go through and see exactly how it created. I tried to then create a preview here, and it didn't really generate anything right here, right? So pretty much rather than using that, I wanted to generate it in the browser within the model itself and not some third-party file I had to load into an experience. But nothing really happened here because the prompt was a bit dense, right? It's a very, very dense prompt. So let's do that. So also like I downloaded that and tried to run it locally, nothing happened. So I was like, let me go much simpler. So I asked it to create a blue 3D ocean environment with sharks that swim around. Add a button to drop fish food that attracts the sharks, and another button to add more sharks to the scene, right? So it went through, it took like around 6 to 7 minutes to get through everything. And then when I hit preview, I was kind of surprised. Even though the sharks don't look like sharks, because that's one right there, and like this one right here, I can add sharks, right? So when I do that, you can see more sharks come into the view. So even though it doesn't look like a shark, it's a 3D environment. It does have a fin, it does have a tail, a bit more cylindrical than it should be, or more like a pyramid than it should be. But yeah, we see that it kind of functions here, and I think this is in OpenGL. We can also drop fish food, which you can actually see, like there was like a pop right there just now. Let me try it again, but it didn't really attract the shark, right? So let's close that. Let's jump over to the other example, which is a 3D campfire with flames and glowing embers, and include a button to roast marshmallows on sticks and another button to add more logs to make the fire bigger, right? So that's pretty like understanding physics and everything like that, making sure that you have smoke and everything like that would be calculated, I would think, and so proven. So looking in the preview, I was kind of pretty surprised when I saw this. So it's a pretty small fire here, you know, but the more I add logs, you can see that the fire slowly gets bigger, slowly gets bigger. And you can turn the fire around, so it's in a 3D environment, and the fire is the center of focus, right? You also have a little bit of shadows here, which is kind of cool as well. But you can see the fire slightly or slowly getting bigger as add more wood. And the cool thing is that you can add marshmallows, right? So marshmallow is going to be like in there and like circling the fire. I don't think that's the appropriate way to roast a marshmallow, but the marshmallow is roasting, right? I don't really see any this is actually off center now. Ah, there we go. Should be right here. But I don't really see. I ran it for a few minutes. I didn't really see any change to the marshmallow, but I probably could have asked it to add some browning to the or some charring to the marshmallow as it moved through the fire or above the fire, right? So this was all one shot as well, so that's pretty amazing for my first attempt, right? So the second one I tried was building a city with roads, a 3D city with roads and flying cars and everything. So one thing I noticed here, when I tried to click spawn a flying car, it would actually the car indicator, or the car counter up here, would flash slow, like very quickly, and the speed would actually flash very quickly. But I think there is an issue with adding a flying car with this this model itself, with this rendering itself. So tried it with one prompt, didn't really work that well. And also one thing that happened as well, when I tried to toggle day and night, my entire browser froze up. Right, like nothing happened. I had to like close the browser and then try it again. Like my entire thing froze up, so I restarted my computer, and now it's actually functional. And like I don't have a slow machine, I have a pretty fast machine, so it's that was kind of like concerning. So I'm not sure exactly how it's doing rendering. This is OpenGL itself, but like I'm not sure exactly what other resources is pulling on to do these things, right? So let's close this. The other model, the other task I asked it to generate was more something around websites, right? So I asked it to create a sleek, futuristic landing page for Medicore AI, a healthcare SaaS platform. Use clean white backgrounds with subtle gradients, rounded corners, and smooth animations. Include a hero section with a 3D medical interface, visualization, and floating cards showing patient analytics, and Apple-style product showcase sections with glass morphism effects, right? And we can see here, even though like this doesn't look the best, it's not a bad job, right? So like we can see the hero text here, like the title of the hero is a bit blurred, but we can see that this element hovering over actually looks like it was designed by someone, right? But not bad for a first attempt. Like this hero section with some work could pretty much land on a startup for a website for a company in the medical space, right? We have this section that shows comprehensive healthcare solutions that works, and also we have this section here that says designed for healthcare professionals. There was something to be here. It's not there. I'm guessing. I can't really move this, but okay, gotcha. And at the end here, we have a call to action, which asks for users' emails, and we have a footer here. So overall, it's a pretty good first attempt, and this was all done with one prompt, right? The next example here is for a financial management SaaS platform called Finance Pro. So pretty much design it with Apple's minimalist aesthetic using dark mode toggles. And you can see the rest of the settings here. So let's look at how the preview looks. Pretty nice. I like how this, the thing that kind of like amazed me at first was like this little thing right here. Kind of adds a bit of character to websites when you see stuff like that. So I kind of like that. Yeah, the website looks great. You know, like it's for the first pass, it looks amazing, and I'm pretty surprised that it actually got all these things like pretty nice. You know, like the SVG icons for the AI powered insights, the bank level security, the real time syncing, advanced analytics. So those icons are all like appropriate, right? Same thing with goal tracking and team collaboration. Like those are pixel perfect icons. And also another thing that is kind of nice as well is like the pricing section. The pricing section is really nice. Yep, and this was all the first prompt. So that's the example page for Finance Flow Pro. All right. So this is another example here. We're speaking about a page that is for an autonomous vehicle management platform, right, called AutoFleet. Gave it this prompt. Let's look on how it came out. So nice. So pretty much it changed the cursor to something a bit more interactive. So when I click, the cursor kind of like jumps. The hero section makes a lot of sense. Very clean. This is like centered but also like floated to the left, which is very interesting. But as I said before, very good start, right? You have an example of like how the routes would actually work with everything, and this kind of makes sense for a visualization of this size or in this industry. I'm still like just amazed that like it kind of came up with this, you know, like this. That's pretty cool. It created a dashboard for fleet analytics, which is interesting as well. And also we can see like a UI of like how the platform could actually look, showing active vehicles, miles today, and the amount of uptime. And also like this nice animation down here that kind of shows where the fleet could actually go, the fleet of trucks or fleet of autonomous vehicles that you have down here. And it's all in like interactive in 3D. Not sure how practical that would be for a real website, but it works. And we have like a nice footer down here, right, with icons for social media pages and resources, documentation, guidelines, different things like that, right? Really good first attempt from K2. I'm pretty impressed. I'm really impressed. All right, and then we tried this model. I keep on saying model. We tried this example, this prompt here, which should generate an armchair, right? So it kind of went all the way down. You got the UI and the aesthetics kind of right. The color scheme and everything kind of looks a bit more vintage. It looks like very high quality, but it was stuck on loading the vintage chair, right? So it pretty much went through and like created everything that should be created for the chair to be visualized, but it's stuck on loading. So we'll make that pass. That was the first attempt. And let's go to the other example. So here we asked it to build a high resolution 3D ceramic coffee mug with realistic surface textures. Went through, took a few minutes to do this. For every example I'm showing here, it took at least 4 minutes. On the long side, it went straight shot for like 7 minutes. I've seen one like running for 7 minutes, the longest, and I'm pretty sure those who've tested this model have seen it running much longer. But it just stayed true and just went and did everything, right? But a lot of times, as you can see here, it may not get it right on the first try, right? And this is one of the examples. So we can look at the code, and also we can look at the preview. The ceramic coffee mug is not loaded. We can click these things here. They're all clickable with a nice subtle hover animation here, but nothing loaded, right? So you won't all get it right on the first go. All right, let's jump over to this example. So we asked it to create a high detailed 3D wicker basket with individual woven strands. So I'm guessing it should look natural and everything like that, right? So this, when it was generated, I was actually pretty surprised because this looks, as you can see, like it doesn't look appropriately like a basket, because it should be shaped like a U on the bottom, or at least have a flat surface where, you know, there's covering. But at least it got the color scheme right. It got the textures and everything not right, but looking, if this was an asset in a video game put down on the side, you wouldn't really like pay much attention to it, right? So it's a good first attempt, right? And I am pretty amazed at like how this was done in one shot, right? So we can see the amount of strands was used here. I used 190 strands, and the loading animation is hovering around like 32 frames per second. So let's close that. And that was a nice thing for them to add, the for the model to add the frames per second right there. All right, wrapping up the examples here. So create like a 3D floating spherical cleaning device with a translucent blue shell and blue wiring core. So let's see exactly how this turned out, like a futuristic design. So we can see here, this just looks like an image that's kind of just being circulated, like a flat image. I'm not sure if this prompt was a bit more detailed, this would be a bit better, but this is kind of hilarious when I saw it. I was like, this kind of just looks like a PNG that's like floating in mid-air and just turning around, you know. So that was like interesting to see that. Also, we have here, I asked it to create a 3D cubic laundry device with glass panels showing internal washing mechanisms, right? And include robotic arms that sort clothes by color, stream jets for stain removal, and digital display showing wash cycles, add rotating drum animations, and fabric analysis sensors. So this is a very detailed prompt, a very dense prompt. And at first I didn't think it was gonna get it. So went through, I asked it to design it in preview. It asked, here's a concise preview, and we can see here that it's just giving me the code to actually go off and generate it in some other tool. So then I asked it to design it in browser, and this is what it came up with. Nada, nothing happened. so we can see here that at times it still needs a little work, and even though this is a really good model, sometimes when you ask it too many detailed things, it may not function the way you want it to function, right? Here's another example. Build a 3D cylindrical kitchen tower with retractable cleaning arms and a sonic dish scrubbers, right? So this is how it looks in browser, and this looks pretty cool. It's glowing and everything, but the only thing I can't move it around. I probably should have added that to the prompt. I can speed up the spinning animation. I can toggle the water jets, but nothing happens here when I do that. When I toggle UV lights, I don't think anything happens. Oh, there we go. The UV lights are those things. I'm just realizing that. Interesting. Those are the UV lights. And toggle the rotation stops the rotation or starts it, right? So yes, pretty cool. And the last example I'm gonna show you here today is it just asking some general things you'd ask a Claude or a GPT about daily things. So I asked it to create a meeting agenda generator that suggests different talking points based on attendees and project status, and pretty much it gave me just a boilerplate template for a meeting agenda generator, something you can easily do in like one of those traditional models. So this doesn't really surprise me as much because all the other models do it, but everything else here is pretty interesting, So it didn't get all the prompts on the first go, and I don't think that's the case with any model of this today. But the thing is that's surprising to me is that it's gotten this far without doing any reasoning. So when you look down here, it has no extended thinking. So imagine when this model gets extended thinking, how well it would actually perform these complex tasks. So when that is enabled, I will come back and try some of these tasks again and see exactly how far we get with these asks or these prompts. So yeah, this is my overview of K2. I love the model. It seems like a really good start for for what's happening in this new space. And yeah, like it's pretty great. I like it a lot. I'm looking forward to like reasoning, and when that happens, I'll be uploading another video. All right, so this is Dwayne signing out, and catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.